Welcome to BizTechTalk. I'm Darrel Bowman.
And I'm Mel West.
And we're here today and every day, every Tuesday from noon to 1 for BizTechTalk, where
we'll be hosting a variety of talk shows about high-tech professionals and the latest technology and business trends that are happening today and coming tomorrow.
And usually we bring on this show a little differently because we're kind of scripted, and today we kind of messed that one right on up. So we're, like you said, we're going to talk to a lot of high-tech professionals and so forth. And today we got a really, kind of a wild program about encryption.
Well, and I think that's why we opened our show the way we did. It was encrypted.
It was cryptic. There we go. Yeah, hey, we had a great time last week learning about PCI and all that stuff, and actually it's a great add-on today. So PCI being...
And that...
what is PCI again?
What is it?
Yeah, right.
The acronyms.
Yeah, it's an acronym. So, it's for credit card processing, right?
Yeah, so it's all about part of that merchant services and keeping the information safe
and secure, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today. Is an excellent add-on to last week where we said, protect your company and you have some compliance issues if you're transacting with money. And today we're going to talk about how your company can do that specifically and to protect your data and all those things using encryption technology out there. But before we get into all that, we got to say, hey, that we're always talking about ways that you can go out and help your veteran-owned businesses and help the veterans that have served the country to see what you can do to get them employed, right?
Yeah, and I think you had recently met with the Goodwill down here, and they've got a new program and stuff. And I met one of their new employees that's focused on helping the military. And one of the things that he said was that they've got military from all different areas,
branches and everywhere,
looking for jobs, and that they're trying to do that. So if you're looking at a way to seek out veterans and employ them, the Goodwill might be another place to take a look.
Yeah, they have a program called Reach, actually, is reaching out to the community and so forth. And I gotta give a good hand out there to Gene Anderson, a good community activist in spirit who has been involved for his entire life, for all I know. I've known him for almost 30 years, and the guy has been involved in youth activities and helping out the community with there. And so he was formerly with the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Tacoma, or South Pierce County, but now with the Goodwill, helping to get individuals employed, whether that's students and teens or whatever he can do to make sure that the community is better for his being there. And believe me, it really is.
Well, and it's great, whether it's helping our teens or helping the military, or basically giving anybody a hand up. It's something that comes back to our community, and that's what's most important, is how do we continue to promote these events or the different things that are happening in our communities so that we can help our fellow community people.
And we got to grow jobs, we got to grow the community and so forth. I was fortunate enough this morning to have a little conversation over at the hearings examiner's office where we took a little testimony on what they were talking about is sorry, somebody's got to mute that mic, so if you're going to cough. But if you're going to, we're taking testimony on changes to the rules and regulations regarding land use so that they can do some big projects in and around Pacific Lutheran University, creating a brand new multi-use, mixed-use thing that's going to bring in lots and lots of business and lots of synergy in the community by, jobs and everything else with students living there and that kind of thing.
But with that, change is always difficult. So there's a lot of things that go into looking at it and what makes the most sense. And so I'm sure that hearing was very valuable for the community.
Yeah, they did. They
really
passed
painted a good picture.
They did. It was I just got a notice that the hearings board passed their recommendation that unanimously accepted the thing, and that's great because, hey, I went to PLU, and one of the things I saw there was that the community, I grew up in Parkland, and, people from all over the world come to PLU. So it's an international location and destination for people to live there and to grow there and to develop their minds and their experiences. And basically, they don't want to stay because it doesn't look very good. So that international reputation isn't as stellar as it can be. So I think we're having an opportunity here to raise the bar, and that's really awesome.
Well, and when you think about PLU and just some of our guests that are national and international,
Exactly.
speaking, there's a lot of great talent coming out of PLU. So it'll be nice to maybe paint a little newer, fresher face on part of the town there.
Yeah, and today we're going to be talking to David Finkelstein, who's the Director of Development at the Symantec Corporation. So he's going to tell us a little bit about that encryption stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a few moments.
I think it's going to be great, is figuring out how to save time and make money using encryption. Last week we talked about merchant card services. So why don't we go ahead and take a break? When we come back, we'll bring David on. We'll introduce him and get back to the program.
Okay, that sounds like a great idea. I got a list of questions for him that I think are going to make this thing a little bit informative and help your business grow and go along. So yeah, if we can take that break here, and that would be awesome. So hey, John, why don't you wake up over there, and give us an opportunity to pay some bills and enjoy how we run the program. Thanks a lot, guys. Okay, hey Dave.
CloudSway removes the hassle of small business financial management. Easily upload receipts, bills, invoices, POs, and other business expenses through your mobile device, email, or scanner. CloudSway automatically scans your data and matches each transaction to your bank and credit cards. Invite staff to send their corporate receipts, allowing the team to contribute and collaborate, managing all company financial data in one location. CloudSway's reports and alerts help to guard against fraud and expense abuse. CloudSway makes it easy to protect your company's most prized possession, its financial security. Visit cloudsway.com.
Are you tired of maintaining or upgrading your business technology year after year just to keep up? Moore's Law states technology will keep getting faster and smaller year after year. Office N and Icon is making Moore's Law obsolete by giving you infinite computing power. It's always new with unlimited resources. It's fast, affordable, secure, reliable, and flexible with endless CPU, RAM, and hard drive. Never worry about a virus, upgrades, backups, or patches again. With Office N and Icon, your office is anywhere at any time from any device. Unleash your power at OfficeNandIcon.com.
Few things say more about your business than the quality of the photos in your ads and on your website. Corporate photographer Rick Doms specializes in custom photography for discriminating corporations around the world and right here in Tacoma. Rick's photos have graced the pages of Forbes, Fortune, Barron's, the Wall Street Journal, and the marketing materials of a host of great American companies. Companies like yours. See what Rick Doms photography can do for your business on the web at rickdoms.com. RICKDAHMS.com.
Brings you the life of a business website. The majority of business websites can't be found by search engines, so their owners lose customers and money. An AIM business website wins new customers on Google and Facebook. Imagine your website with great content management, an integrated blog, clean designs, and clear messages. To top it off, at aimbiz.com, you get a free website design mock-up before you ever spend a dime. For more information, go to aimbiz.com. That's AIMBIZ.com.
Hey, welcome back to BizTechTalk. I'm Darrel Bowman, your IT professional.
And I'm Mel West, your business advisor. We're here every Tuesday from noon to 1.
On Clay 1180. So visit us at BizTechTalk.net. Join us listen to our shows and download our podcast. We're on iTunes and on info, and give us your suggestions at info@BizTechTalk.net.
Find us on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, we're on Facebook and YouTube. Forgot about that one. We're out there. We're all over the place. And so we're trying to, spread the word. So like us on Facebook. Yeah. So anyway, hey, we've got David Finkelstein, like we said, and he's going to join us here in just a second. And he's the Director of Development at Symantec Corporation. He manages the core cryptographic team within Symantec's Encryption product group. And for those of you who don't know who Symantec is, they're the Norton security and those kinds of things, what you see on your desktop. So his team also builds and maintains the Symantec PGP software development kit, and it's a cryptographic module used by all the PGP branded products, which we'll know about PGP in here in a second, as well as the applications that implement the open source and SMIME standards, which you guys probably don't even care about. So David has worked in security, public key infrastructure, and encryption for 15 years. He's got a BS degree in mathematical and computational sciences, so he's a brilliant individual from Stanford University, and a master's in science and computer science from the University of British Columbia. So this guy has been working it for a while. So he is a prodigy of STEM, science, technology, education, and mathematics, right? Engineering and mathematics. So, hey, welcome aboard, Dave. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so you're down in California, right?
Yes, I'm in Mountain View.
So, and I understand you're really into hiking and camping and those kinds of things?
Oh, yeah, very much. I like to get out on the weekends and go for hikes or take my son camping.
Oh, that gets you out from in front of the computer screen?
Yeah, it's a nice break.
Oh, yeah. So, hey, I'm a nerd, so, I'm in front of a computer screen way too much, so I get it. We got to get out and smell the air, smell the fresh air. So there's a couple things we talked about in the intro to you, and that was, we mentioned PGP, Software Development Kit. What the heck is that, and why does somebody care?
Oh, that's a good question. So PGP stands for, originally, Pretty Good Privacy, and you or your listeners may be familiar with that term.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, I always shut the door.
Pretty good privacy, yeah.
We have pretty good privacy right here. We shut the door. No one can hear on the other side, right?
Nobody wants to come in either because it's warm.
Oh, yeah. So that's so somebody made a company and they just called it PGP for pretty good privacy. It wasn't perfect privacy, just pretty good, right?
So, well, it started not as a company. A fellow named Phil Zimmerman founded it or started the technology quite a long time ago. He felt that people needed to be able to be secure in their communications. They should be able to send messages to each other securely, and they should be able to secure the information that they had on their machines.
Oh,
excellent. They should be able to do that securely.
And so this started quite a while ago, I take it.
It started in the early 1990s, actually.
Okay, it seems like a pretty complex subject. What's a simple overview of that encryption?
So encryption is basically the taking of information, we'll call it the plain text. So information that you have, just a document, anything, and using some sort of secret to convert it into what we call ciphertext.
Some code.
Some code, that's right.
Now, do different companies use different code?
Yes.
Hey, in the war, the Japanese used one thing, the German used another, and so forth. I remember all that.
Yeah.
I watch movies.
Japanese had a device called Purple, and the Germans had something called Enigma.
Is this like dashes and dashes and X's or whatever?
But encryption is there's two main types of cryptography. One is called symmetric cryptography, and so if I have my plain text, I use a key and I turn that into ciphertext. And then I can use the exact same key to turn that ciphertext back into the plain text.
Okay, and why? And how is that significant for somebody who's a business owner and really cares about the differences between their encryption?
So that's significant because as a business owner, you probably want to make sure that your important information on your machine is secured, so that in the event you lose a laptop, you leave it behind at the airport or in a taxi cab, or some attacker manages to infiltrate onto your system.
Yeah, it has your banking information, your personal information, your identity information, right?
That's right.
And maybe your company information.
Now, is this something that a business owner would put on every PC or computer that they have? And it runs in the background?
Yes. So there's a number of different types of encryption software that you can do. So you have to decide what are you protecting your information from and for. So if I'm sending you information that's confidential, if I'm talking to my bank, for example, there are a lot of banks that require that when you send them payment information or other financial information, that they want that to be encrypted. If you are a subcontractor of Boeing, Boeing wants you to use encryption to do communications with them and to send them files that are encrypted.
So in other words, you want to make sure that what you say is private. It's not like you're sitting in a stadium and yelling to your banker across the room of a room full of people saying, hey, this is my code to my bank account right here, and here's my password, and there's 2,500 people listening in, right?
So is that a little better than pretty good privacy?
Well, that's why we just call it PGP now.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so security of your communications and your messages.
So I understand there's
One
some
important thing.
there's some different standards that are out there. What are some of those standards?
So the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is a federal government program, has some standards for cryptography and encryption. So your listeners or you might be familiar with something called AES or DES or triple DES.
Yeah, when you use people will see that when they do their wireless communications, they set up their Wi-Fi, things like that. Those are the kinds of encryptions that they use to communicate with their Wi-Fi. I'm just trying to get that in layman's terms that people will see on a regular basis, right?
Yep.
So
That's
what
right.
does that stand for?
AES. He's trying to get what does AES stand for?
So AES stands for the Advanced Encryption Standard, and that's the government's new preferred encryption algorithm. So if I'm taking my information and I'm encrypting it to make it secret, AES is the current best standard for encrypting your information.
Okay, so just go to AES if you hear that out there. So the government's overseeing those standards, or is somebody else?
So the government oversees cryptographic standards, and there are other organizations that oversee higher level use of those standards. So, for example, when you're using a secure website, HTTPS website, so your information is sent securely from, say, a customer going to your business website and they want to type in their credit card information, you want that to be secure. The protocol that's used there to connect between the browser and the web server is something called SSL, Secure Sockets Layer. And that protocol is overseen by a standards body called the IETF, the Internet Engineering Task Force.
Well, no, we don't want to get too complicated here because we're starting to get into. Right now we're starting to get into a situation where we sound like we're in class, and that's just a little bit too complicated for some of the listeners out there. And I want to make sure that we target this in a way that gets people to understand why they need it and what we get an overview of what it is, but why specifically it's important for their business to have this encryption and the kinds of different encryption that are going to be better for them to own. So if they're using the AES is a standard, and then they might be thinking about, well, I don't need that standard. Is there a non-standard that's acceptable to communicate with somebody?
So in general, you want to stick to standards where you can. And the reason is that there's a lot of companies out there that will sell you security, but the security isn't really very good. There are very, very, very smart people in the world who have spent a long time studying the mathematics behind the different cryptographic algorithms. And these people know, they've forgotten more about encryption than I will ever know.
So what they're doing is they're trying to figure out ways to disable and or break encryption, right?
That's right.
And so you need to be aware of that so that you protect yourself in the best way possible, right?
Absolutely correct. And so by sticking with the algorithms that the government has standardized on, you can be assured that you're using cryptography that has been well studied and well understood and known to be secure.
So who leads the charge? Is that last week we talked about Visa and PCI compliance. So Mel and I both forgot what PCI stands for again. So can you help us out with that?
Payment card.
Payment card. Is that payment card information?
It's the payment card industry.
Industry. I knew it was something. He was about to Google on his phone. Okay, so, but anyway, it seems like that industry is actually helping to drive the encryption standards and the security standards, and that we found that last week because they're actually helping people. We're driving businesses to say, listen, if you're not compliant, we're not going to do business with you. And now this week we're talking about, hey, how do you get compliant and why do you need to be compliant more than just in your world of communication with your finances, but also in your world right there on your desktop and on your server, right?
Right. So why would you want to use encryption?
Exactly. Why is it?
Does that HTTPS, does that mean that it's encrypted?
Yeah, if you see the S, that means that it's secure and it's doing an encrypted channel between you and the web server.
Great. Let's go back to the one question. So if I'm not required, why would I want to be using encrypted software?
You might want to because you have to. So if you're doing business with the government, for example, the government may require you to be using encryption. If you're doing business with a partner, say your bank, and your bank wants you to send them information or you're contracting out with another company that wants you to send them information securely, they may just mandate that. You have to do that to communicate with us.
Well, you also might want to do the encryption if you intend to do business with the government in the future, so you can get familiar with that now and not have to learn it later, right?
That's right.
Okay.
The other is compliance purposes. So PCI compliance, as you've mentioned, is a big one. They want to make sure if you're taking customer credit card information, that's stored encrypted.
It sounds like Visa, MasterCard, those people, it's in their best interest. They lose a lot of money if you're not working together in a safe environment. So they seem to be, are they driving in this standard for you as well as the government, or are they in collusion? Are they working together? How's that working?
Well, yeah, so the industry organizations drive it a lot. Government regulation helps play a big role too. PCI compliance, as I understand it, is more going to be a problem for the merchant. So if the merchant doesn't keep this information secured in some way, then the merchant can be liable for it. The credit card company is not going to cover losses.
Not if someone's not playing by the rules, right?
Yeah.
Now, is there a cost involved with this encryption?
So encryption software is that Symantec sells, does cost, we sell it for money, obviously.
Hey, we're not giving it away.
Not giving it away. There are encryption programs out there that are free.
Oh, yeah, well, you get what you pay for, in my opinion, but that's just me. I'm talking.
There's something to be said about that, right?
Yeah, you get what you pay for when you're going for free, and so we don't really need to dwell on that one, okay? I'd appreciate we talk about, people who are really serious about maintaining their businesses and people that really want to do the right thing and not go out there to try to get by passively. They need to really do the right thing for them and their business and their customers.
But I think, David, we talked also before the show as we were talking about kind of the money aspect of it. There's a huge cost if somebody doesn't use this. So yeah, there's something called a safe harbor provision. Have you heard of this term?
Nope. Go ahead.
So let's say that I have information on my employees, information on my customers. I have social security numbers. I have credit card information. I have other personal information. If I suffer a data breach or a data loss, this laptop goes missing, information got taken off of a server, I may have to go through a very expensive process of notifying everybody who was affected by that data loss.
And that's in certain that's actually government regulated. That's actually state regulated in certain states and in certain governments as well, not just state, local, and federal, right?
That's right.
So it depends on, and you need to know that whatever state you're in, because I believe in California, where you're at, if you have a breach, then it doesn't. What's the law that I'm referring to that means you have to no matter who's doing business or if you do business with somebody, you have to notify everybody, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And do you recall the name of that law?
I don't recall the name of that law.
I know, but it does require that if you are actually doing any kind of business with somebody outside of the state of California, and you're in somehow connected to California, that can be very expensive. Maybe internet business that could be global.
Yeah. Well, and that's where you see a lot of times where you get a letter in the mail that says, there's a potential breach. You can get a free copy of your credit report. We'll give you a free monitoring for a year or whatever.
Yeah, that's somebody who got hacked, right? Is that right, Dave?
Yeah, or people get hacked. I got a letter like that from my mortgage company because they had a rogue employee, pull everybody's names and social security numbers and sell them. So.
Well, that if there's big money in that, and people don't understand. I get a lot of folks out there when I talk with people who say, you know what, we're not doing rocket parts, so we're not doing national security. So why do we have to have a firewall? Why do I have to do this, protect myself the way that you're telling me that's all this this quote unquote best practice? And you know what? It's about not just about you. It's about your customers, and it's more about everything that is your reputation, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. So if you suffer a data breach, so not only is any intellectual property that you had, any thing that's private to your company, any technical information, customer information, pricing information is now lost. You've possibly lost customer-sensitive information, which you have to then notify all the customers that you've lost that information. Your reputation suffers a blow, which can be a very hard thing to recover from if people feel that you're the sort of company that doesn't take care of its digital assets.
Well, let's do this, Dave, and this can go on for a while, I know. So we got to take a break for a second. We've got to pay some bills and so forth. So let's do that here. And I'm Darrel Bowman, your IT professional, right here on Clay 1180, and
I'm Mel West, your business advisor.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
lost today.
I lost today, man. Okay, well, don't worry. We'll be right back after these messages.
CloudSway removes the hassle of small business financial management. Easily upload receipts, bills, invoices, POs, and other business expenses through your mobile device, email, or scanner. CloudSway automatically scans your data and matches each transaction to your bank and credit cards. Invite staff to send their corporate receipts, allowing the team to contribute and collaborate, managing all company financial data in one location. CloudSway's reports and alerts help to guard against fraud and expense abuse. CloudSway makes it easy to protect your company's most prized possession, its financial security. Visit cloudsway.com.
In today's economy, doing more with less has become the standard. Feeling overwhelmed or out of control does not have to be part of that standard. If you are looking for improved profitability and better teamwork, West Business Concepts' expertise in sales, organizational development, and finance offers real-world solutions today. West Business Concepts helps you develop clarity and focus on who matters most. Gain an edge over your competition. Visit westbusinessconcepts.com today. That's westbusinessconcepts.com.
I know you've been thinking about adding video to your website. Don't put it off any longer. Your customers are about 75% more likely to purchase your product after learning about it in a video. Gabe Medina Productions is ready to help you put a face to your business and show your customers why your company is the better choice. We want to work with you because we want to see your business grow. Go to GabeMedinaProductions.com or call 206-250-0735 for more info. That's 206-250-0735.
Be a part of Tacoma's Waterfront Association, a dynamic organization dedicated to making Tacoma's waterfront a great place to visit and do business. Join them the second Wednesday of each month from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Crow's Nest at the Tacoma Yacht Club to hear exciting guest speakers and see what's happening on the waterfront. Be a part of the community strength. Make a difference along Tacoma's magnificent 46 miles of waterfront. For more information or to become a member of the Tacoma Waterfront Association, visit tacomawaterfront.org.
In Pierce County, 17% of residents are food insecure. That's 1 in 6 people who are unsure where their next meal is coming from. Someone you know is going hungry. What can you do about it? Help support Fish Food Banks of Pierce County. For every dollar received, Fish's 8 food bank locations can distribute $7 worth of food to families in need. To learn more about stopping hunger here in Pierce County, go to fishfoodbanks.org. That's fishfoodbanks.org.
Hey, welcome back to BizTechTalk. You're listening to BizTechTalk on Clay 1180. And we're here today talking with David from Symantec Corporation about encryption.
I know it sounds like a really ho-hum subject and so forth, but really the value there is that we're learning a lot about how much this could cost you. And I think at the break we talked about how this could really impact your business if you're not protected, and encryption can save you a little bit of money. So David, you were talking about what is the average cost of, if we have to notify a bunch of people because we've been hacked and our data's been compromised?
Yeah, so the Ponemon Institute did a study and looking at how much on average it costs organizations who suffer a data breach. And for 2010, the average cost was $214 per compromised record. So
whoa, that means, just multiply that out by the number of people you have for clients, and that could be very, very costly.
That could be very, very costly. That's right.
And that's not even just the ones you're currently doing business. That's ones you've ever done business with, right?
That's right, because you would have to go back and notify people who used to be your customers if you've had their data lost or compromised.
Oh, whoa, that could be really expensive. So, how do so now we've talked about encryption, we've talked about that, the cost of that, so, that kind of thing. So, how do I protect myself? What kind of products are out there? What specifically are these products that we can protect ourselves with, and what can they do for us? I mean, what are we talking about? Are we talking? Give me some ideas.
Okay, so at Symantec, we talk about something called defense in depth. So when you're encrypting your information, you can do it at a variety of different levels, and we have products that support encrypting at different levels. So at one level, I could have a file. This might be a spreadsheet of confidential information, or a document that describes some merger acquisition information, or something very confidential.
So we're talking about in-depth, meaning I can go from let's say a file, an email, a folder, and all the way down to your entire server, right?
Or your entire disk, that's right. You can go from the file level to, say, a folder level, to a volume level, to encrypting the entire disk.
So if I'm a product, what kind of product are we talking about?
Okay, so for file level encryption, we have PGP Zip and PGP NetShare, which are part of the PGP family of products that come from as part of PGP Desktop.
Okay, so PGP Desktop, purchasing that will help us to there. Now, if I have that, am I going to have everybody that I ever do business with have that so that they can read my files if I send them an email with a file attached or something?
So that's a good question, and the answer is maybe. There are solutions for sending information securely to people who don't have any encryption software. So you can create what are called self-decrypting archives. So I can send you a little program that has encrypted information in it and give you a passphrase, and then all you have to do is run that program, type in the passphrase, and then you'll get the data out of it.
So that can be pretty easy, in other words.
Yeah, it can be very, very easy to do.
Now, we've done a lot of talking on the show about the cloud and stuff. How does this stuff work for businesses that are using the cloud, or instead of having all that stuff on their desktop, they've got it up?
Is it a better thing to make sure if you're using the cloud because you have much more potential risk? Or is that what you need to do, or are you protected because you're in the data center? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think that it's important to be protected regardless of where your data sits. If your data is local on a machine, your data is sitting in the cloud, it should be encrypted, it should be protected. If I lose a laptop, I will often have information on that laptop that maybe I've pulled down from the cloud because I need to access it while I'm on an airplane. Right? So your data is not always only sitting in the cloud.
Hey, dude, you're in an airplane. You're in the cloud. I'm sorry. That's the way I'm looking at it. Most people are flying around the country and going, hey, I'm flying through the damn clouds. So anyway, I'm sorry. I just had to pass that on. It just sounded so perfect.
I like that.
So you were saying...
Is there a different strategy, though, from protecting yourself, say, on your laptop versus the cloud?
Well, the risks are a little bit different. So for laptops, your primary risk is I lose the laptop, or the laptop gets stolen. And so a full disk encryption product is often the best mitigation for that risk, right?
Yeah, because they just get a lump of machinery if they get it, and they don't know how to unencrypt it. So there you go. That's
right. So goody, I found someone's laptop, I turned it on, but now I'm presented with a screen where I have to type in a passphrase.
So are there other advantages for that full disk encryption, other than just they get a
they're gonna get a brick if they don't get
weight.
They're gonna get a brick if they don't have the passphrase, right?
Yeah.
So that's the primary thing. Is other than that, I mean, you got a brick.
Yeah, that's the biggest advantage of full disk encryption is you're worrying about theft of the entire device.
Is there any disadvantages?
Disadvantages to full disk encryption?
Yeah.
Does it slow your computer down? Is it make it harder to work, or what are we talking about? What are your pros and cons?
So the biggest disadvantage with full disk encryption is if the end user forgets their password, that they need to unlock it.
Yeah, that could suck.
And oh no,
are there safeguards out there where they can recover the password, or are they pretty much dead in the water?
So there's a couple of different techniques that you can use for recovery of that information. One is if you have management of your encryption deployment. So
that means for people that don't understand that means that it's server based and then it's pushed out to your computers from the server, so you're logging onto a computer and so it's managed at a central location versus your home or small business user who only has one computer who likely won't have that opportunity, right?
That's right. If you're say a medium-sized business or you're deploying more than a handful of machines, you may decide, you know what, I need to enforce some policy. I need to make sure that people's machines actually get encrypted.
Now, is this
I want to have some enforcement on how strong a password they use. I don't want them picking 1234 as their login password because that's
an easy one to crack.
Yeah.
And this is one where maybe working with mynetworkcompany.com, you put these different strategies in place, working with your clients?
Yeah, we do that quite often. That's one of the reasons for the show is not only that, but, we do, this is a follow-up to the conversation last week where it was highly important that people talk about how they protect their businesses. And this is just one of those ways that we help protect those businesses. As a Symantec partner, that's what we do. And one of the reasons I brought David on here because Symantec has a global perspective on security that no other company in the market space has.
So, at Symantec, we do rely on our partners very much, and they're a very important part of how we interact with our customers. And encryption is potentially challenging to understand and deploy. So I do recommend that customers talk to a company like my network company to, get an understanding of, how they can, use the different solutions that are available.
So
it can feel overwhelming. I completely understand.
And I appreciate that, and I think that that's appropriate because it is a complicated situation for people to get adjusted to, but. Right now, that's a great opportunity for us to think about taking a break and spending a couple minutes on talking about where we go next.
Bills.
Paying a few bills, exactly. So
we've got some great people out there sponsoring us.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for joining us. I'm Darrel Bowman, and
I'm Mel West, your business advisor. You listen to Clay 1180, and we'll be right back with David and talking about encryption.
CloudSway removes the hassle of small business financial management. Easily upload receipts, bills, invoices, POs, and other business expenses through your mobile device, email, or scanner. CloudSway automatically scans your data and matches each transaction to your bank and credit cards. Invite staff to send their corporate receipts, allowing the team to contribute and collaborate, managing all company financial data in one location. CloudSway's reports and alerts help to guard against fraud and expense abuse. CloudSway makes it easy to protect your company's most prized possession, its financial security. Visit cloudsway.com.
Few things say more about your business than the quality of the photos in your ads and on your website. Corporate photographer Rick Doms specializes in custom photography for discriminating corporations around the world and right here in Tacoma. Rick's photos have graced the pages of Forbes, Fortune, Barron's, the Wall Street Journal, and the marketing materials of a host of great American companies. Companies like yours. See what Rick Doms photography can do for your business on the web at rickdoms.com. RICKDAHMS.com.
AimBiz.com brings you the life of a business website. The majority of business websites can't be found by search engines, so their owners lose customers and money. An AIM Business website wins new customers on Google and Facebook. Imagine your website with great content management, an integrated blog, clean designs, and clear messages. To top it off, at AimBiz.com, you get a free website design mock-up before you ever spend a dime. For more information, go to AimBiz.com. That's AIMBIZ.com.
Be a part of Tacoma's Waterfront Association, a dynamic organization dedicated to making Tacoma's waterfront a great place to visit and do business. Join them the second Wednesday of each month from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Crow's Nest at the Tacoma Yacht Club to hear exciting guest speakers and see what's happening on the waterfront. Be a part of the community strength. Make a difference along Tacoma's magnificent 46 miles of waterfront. For more information or to become a member of the Tacoma Waterfront Association, visit tacomawaterfront.org.
In Pierce County, 17% of residents are food insecure. That's 1 in 6 people who are unsure where their next meal is coming from. Someone you know is going hungry. What can you do about it? Help support Fish Food Banks of Pierce County. For every dollar received, Fish's 8 food bank locations can distribute $7 worth of food to families in need. To learn more about stopping hunger here in Pierce County, go to fishfoodbanks.org. That's fishfoodbanks.org.
Hey, welcome back to BizTechTalk. I'm Darrel Bowman here with Mel West on Clay 1180. We're here every Tuesday, noon to 1. Don't forget to check us out at BizTechTalk.net. Listen to our shows. Hey, if you missed them, they're there. You can download our podcast. You can actually go to iTunes, and you can even go on to YouTube and Google and Facebook. Don't forget to like us, right? And don't forget that we are at info@BizTechTalk.net, and let's hear what you got to say and what kind of comments and or new shows that we might be able to put out there for you, the business owner.
Yeah, but today we're here with David Finkelstein from the Symantec Corporation, and we're talking about encryption. And we've kind of went over a little bit about the time and the money aspect of it, but we want to dive a little bit deeper into it. And one of the things that I was thinking about, David, is that this goes beyond just the typical antivirus program that most businesses load on their computers. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So and if they're thinking about, okay, we've got our endpoint protection, and that's all we need. Are they let's wake them up, okay? I mean that's it. I'm just thinking that's what we need to do.
So endpoint protection is not really going to be sufficient to protect your company and your company's assets and its information. Because the sorts of attacks that can come are not just I click on a bad link, or I get sent a file and now I'm getting some malware on my system and my endpoint is going to fix that. It's, I had important information on a machine and that machine is lost. I am sending important information to you, but, oh no, I actually sent it to the wrong email address.
Oh, that's never happened to anybody before?
It never happened to me. Because the autocomplete did the wrong address. Or I've got information on file servers on my server systems.
Mel and I are laughing here because that happens all the time. Autocomplete, man.
Autocomplete. That makes for some embarrassing emails every now and then, right?
Like, oh, damn, you weren't supposed to know that. Or, who are you? I'm sorry. Or I get them all the time from, and that's no joke. I've actually gotten some from large organizations and banking organizations where I was accidentally copied in on confidential information. I have to call them back, email them back, and go, "Do you sure you really want me in on this?"
That happened with a medical company just here recently locally, and it was put out on Facebook. And it's like, really?
You messed up, man.
And that's one of the worst things is that when it happens, everybody knows.
And you know what? If they would have been encrypted, what would have happened, David?
If it would have been encrypted, then the person who received it would not have been able to open the information.
And they would have just went, what's this?
So David, you would have encrypted it to, say, a key that person wouldn't have access to.
David, can we take encryption with us and access it on any system?
You can. There are solutions for that. Symantec Encryption Group has a product called removable storage that allows you to securely put files onto, say, a USB drive or onto a CD-ROM and take that with you to any machine and gain access to those files just with a password that you know.
Now, speaking of USB, is there ways with like this encryption software to prevent the download to USBs?
Yeah, that software is more of an endpoint protection software.
Yeah, that's not really something.
Okay.
That's not something that happens with the encryption. It happens with your group policies and or your endpoint protection that says, hey, you can or cannot do the download to this specific device.
It's more of a device control, but absolutely that's part of a larger security suite of software. I'm going to control the ability to put information on removable storage so it doesn't walk away.
Well,
if it gets onto removable, then it has to be encrypted, so I know it's secure. So if I lose that little thumb drive, I don't have to worry about it because I know that information is protected.
Which leads us to all the part about, an overall security position for your company. It's not just about, whatever the Visa company or the MasterCard tells you if you want to do, take credit cards or anything for PCI compliance, you need to be thinking about your overall security position for your company, not only from a single user perspective for that person who's a mom and pop shop, but for the 510 to 500, 5,000 person company needs to be thinking about that. So everybody, big or small, is really thinking the same thing, right?
Yes, that's absolutely right.
But that's typically where small businesses and even some mid-sized businesses start, is when, say, you've got to comply with this new regulation or rule, then they start to implement a policy. Let's maybe back this up a little bit. Where does a company start with a policy, and what are some of the big picture items that they should think about?
Well, we talked about that last week. Some of the things that were real simple. There was a free piece of free questionnaire from the download that you could start asking yourself about those specific questions to secure your company and so forth. There's plenty of different people out there that will talk to you and say, here's what you need to do to protect yourself and the things that you can do to be much more aware of how to secure your company. And then, go online, do a little Googling and so forth. And if you want to do your research, but in the end result, you really need to have a trusted advisor that you can talk to, whether that's your business or your technical professional, whatever. You talk to those people and then bring them into your confidence and learn what they have to tell you. And if you don't like what they're telling you, go get a second opinion, just like your doctor, and then see if it differs.
But this is where you'd probably go out and look for like a security survey of some sort to see where you're at and kind of establish where you need to be.
And you know what? We heard about those last week where they do that on a regular basis. You're actually required to do that if you're taking money and you're using credit cards over the wire.
Right, but there's still some businesses out there that aren't doing that, or they've ignored it. So
you wouldn't believe the number of people because there's no enforcement.
Right. So it's one of those things that, hey, if somebody's out there listening today, hey, where do I start? And part of it is by just doing a survey of what you're currently doing and figuring out what's required.
There's too much of a mentality out there right now where people believe that, hey, if there's no consequence, why should I bother? For instance, we have to have insurance to drive our car because that's the law, right? Well, we have a HIPAA regulations for the medical professionals out there that have to require that, but yet there's nobody that goes, and there's no HIPAA police to go out there and tell you if you're not doing being HIPAA compliant, to tell you if you're protecting someone's medical records and those kinds of things, which is part of security as well. So as part of your business, you've got PCI compliance, but nobody's out there being a police or anything. It's only once you get in a wreck, then you're found out, so to speak, if you're not carrying the insurance and or have done your due diligence. Are you familiar with that kind of thing, Dave?
Yeah. We found that a lot of companies come to us only after something bad has happened.
And that's what we find out as well. So really quick here, Dave, we've got to go here pretty quick. So what I'm going to do is we've had a lot of stuff today. This is an amazing conversation. It only hits the tip of the iceberg, but I wish I was like John Daly or John Stewart. We could say after the end of the show, get the rest of the episode online, but we can't.
But where do we go to get more information?
Exactly.
Okay. So I do recommend that you go to Symantec's website and check out all the information that they have on encryption, on the different encryption products. I recommend you check some of our trusted providers. A lot of our providers like mynetworkcompany.com have information up there that, from Symantec that helps you get a better understanding of the different products, and that you talk to somebody. Talk to other people in your business, other people that you know, find out what they're doing, talk to some of our partners to find out what they can do for you.
Okay, well, thanks, Dave. I really do appreciate it. And then, as always, we do appreciate, getting the information from one of the respected professionals out there in the industry.
The experts.
The experts.
David, thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome, and I hope I didn't have too many people's eyes glaze over.
No, that's okay. But hey, as always, thanks again. And hey, Mel and I want to take this time before we close out the show today to talk about thanking you for sharing a little bit of your day with us and your lunchtime. And as we talk about the really fascinating things that go on in business and technology out there.
Or not so fascinating things.
I'm sorry, I think they're fascinating. Dude,
some of these things...
We're going to edit this part out.
They're not too exciting, but they're necessary.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it depends on where you're coming from. I mean, hey, to me, this is kind of the stuff that you can dig right into, but I know for the regular business person that it sometimes can be a little bit much for them.
It's what they need to know.
It is. And so, but we want to make sure that you thank our veterans out there for who have served the country, and by seeking them out to do business with them if they own a business, hiring them when a position is open for your company, and those kinds of things. We want to make sure that we do whatever we can to support the veterans that supported us to help us grow this nation. So whatever you can do that for us. And then, next week we're going to be talking about buying and selling businesses and what you can do to value your business and how you can get an opportunity to ensure that you're getting the right price for your business, or that you're paying the right price for the business you're buying.
And it's always an interesting conundrum is, what is the value of a business and how do I value my business? And so it's going to be nice to be able to talk about that. What is the value of my business? It really comes down to what somebody's willing to pay for it. But I'm sure we're going to talk a lot more about that. And we've got
a great show for you next week. So thanks again for joining us. I'm Darrel Bowman, your IT professional.
And I'm Mel West, your business advisor.
Thanks for joining us right here.
1180.
CloudSway removes the hassle of small business financial management. Easily upload receipts, bills, invoices, POs, and other business expenses through your mobile device, email, or scanner. CloudSway automatically scans your data and matches each transaction to your bank and credit cards. Invite staff to send their corporate receipts, allowing the team to contribute and collaborate, managing all company financial data in one location. CloudSway's reports and alerts help to guard against fraud and expense abuse. CloudSway makes it easy to protect your company's most prized possession, its financial security. Visit cloudsway.com.
Are you tired of maintaining or upgrading your business technology year after year just to keep up? Moore's Law states technology will keep getting faster and smaller year after year. Office and Icon is making Moore's Law obsolete by giving you infinite computing power. It's always new with unlimited resources. It's fast, affordable, secure, reliable, and flexible with endless CPU, RAM, and hard drive. Never worry about a virus, upgrades, backups, or patches again. With Office and Icon, your office is anywhere at any time from any device. Unleash your power at officeandicon.com.
In today's economy, doing more with less has become the standard. Feeling overwhelmed or out of control does not have to be part of that standard. If you are looking for improved profitability and better teamwork, West Business Concepts' expertise in sales, organizational development, and finance offers real-world solutions today. West Business Concepts helps you develop clarity and focus on who matters most. Gain an edge over your competition. Visit westbusinessconcepts.com today. That's westbusinessconcepts.com.
Video to your website. Don't put it off any longer. Your customers are about 75% more likely to purchase your product after learning about it in a video. Gabe Medina Productions is ready to help you put a face to your business and show your customers why your company is the better choice. We want to work with you because we want to see your business grow. Go to GabeMedinaProductions.com or call 206-250-0735 for more info. That's 206-250-0735.